Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Zoning Board of Appeals public hearing on July 2nd at 6 p.m. My name is Carol Zacharias. I'm the chairman. Hello, Brian.
Hi, Brian.
Huh. My name is Carol Zacharias. I'm the chair. To my left is Tom Kemper, the vice chair. Beside him is Linda Munn, and to my right is Orrin Glick. And on the television or whatever, the Zoom, is Brian, our counsel, and Lisa Rickmere, our environmental consultant. And with that, we're ready to get started. I'd like to say before we start that we're going to start enforcing something we've been somewhat lax on, and I want to give everyone fair notice, because it's only fair to residents, because we do hear from residents that they didn't have a chance to see things. So materials are supposed to be submitted on the Thursday prior to the zoning board meeting by 12 noon, is it?
Correct.
12 noon. If you don't submit them by Thursday at 12 noon, they don't hit the drop box in time, neighbors can't see it, and they're not very happy. So to be respectful to everybody, let's just try to really follow that. And if something can't be submitted on time, that's okay. We can adjourn it. We meet on the first Thursday of every month. If you need to, we do have the third Thursday of each month reserved in this room for overflow cases. And in fact, this month we will be meeting on the third Thursday. So there's lots of opportunities. So just want to mention that. All right? All right, with that, we'll get started. The first case is a wetland special permit environmental variance case. It's a carryover, case number 3231, 8 Squabble Lane.
Hi, Susanna Herman and consultants for the applicant, 8 Squabble Lane LLC. This application is for a small dock out into the pond, as well as Phragmites cutting, and I believe most of our discussion thus far has been with respect to the buffer. The homeowners have agreed to a 25-foot buffer. We submitted a revegetation plan for the buffer last Thursday. So that should be in the record, and I think it's a very nice plan. Lots of native vegetation, should be very pretty, and good for the environment.
All right, well, thank you for that submission. Lisa, do you have can you offer any comments on the submission that came through last week?
Yes, we got the submission on Friday, and I was able to review it in time to prepare some documents. So they did provide the one request the board had was that some wetlands, upland wetlands vegetation be provided along the buffer where it appeared to be lawn to the water, and they provided a plan that includes appropriate native plantings in that area, and I think that at this point now, I think they have addressed the requests of the board, and I prepared the documents for the board. If you want me to speak to those, I can.
Could you please speak to those? Yeah.
Yeah, so with every special wetlands permit, we are required to complete the seeker process, and part of the village code elevates those to type 1 actions. So we have completed the the applicant completed the full environmental assessment form, and I prepared the part 2 and 3 for the board's review. I didn't identify any significant environmental impacts. The dock will be constructed according to the required specifications, with light and air allowed through so that the wetlands vegetation can continue to grow underneath that. And the wetlands buffer is considered a benefit actually, and will be as opposed to an impact. The Phragmites cutting is in accordance with the requirements, that the best protective practices of cutting, above the 6 inches above the soil, so you're not disturbing the soil, but the twice a year cutting to kind of try to hold that back and kind of prevent that species from proliferating there. So that if the board's in agreement, that document's prepared and you can adopt a negative declaration on that. I did then also prepare a special wetlands permit that would allow the construction of the dock and the installation of the wetlands buffer. The standard conditions related to that the construction be in accordance with the submitted plans, that there be sedimentation and erosion controlled where needed, and that for 3 years the new vegetation be monitored, and documentation submitted certifying that attesting to whether or not it's surviving and how it's doing.
All right.
So
No,
that's
got it.
Summary.
All right. So basically, it's type 1 action, not likely to have a significant impact on our environment. Adoption of the negative declaration is proposed. And second, wetlands natural resource special permit for the construction per the plan and with the controls as specified. Is that what we're being asked to take a look at, right?
Yes.
Excellent, okay. So thank you for that, and thank you, Lisa, for that. So before I go to the board, does anyone here present have any comments on this application? No? Is there anyone on Zoom other than these two? I don't think so. All right, so I'm not going to ask about that. So what do you all think?
I'm good.
I'm good.
You're good with it?
Me too.
I am too. All right. So at this point, do I hear a motion to approve the adoption of the negative? Do we vote on this? Or-
Yes.
Yeah, good. Do I hear a motion to approve the adoption of the negative declaration that the zoning board is the lead agency, that this is a type 1 action, and it is not likely to have a significant environmental impact? That gets us to the secra. Do I hear a motion for that?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. All right, second step, wetlands permit. Do I hear a motion to approve the wetlands natural resource special permit for construction per the plan and with the controls as specified in Lisa's submission? Do I hear a motion?
Yep.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you, and thank you for
Thank
the
you.
buffer plan. Appreciate that.
Thanks.
All right. Our
Well,
second-
while we have Lisa here, do you want to move on to the wetlands cases that are closed towards the end of the agenda? Because I know we have some
Sure.
variance
All
cases
right.
in between.
So we have Lisa here as environmental consultant, and time is valuable, so we're going to go ahead and move up the cases in which she's involved, and they do appear at the end, if you will, of the agenda, which you have available to you and online. So with that, that would be Meadow Club,
Yes, I believe that's the next one.
right? All right. So that's case number 3204, Meadow Club of Southampton. And bear with me. 1 second. All right. We have received a revised decision as of yesterday, proposing to grant requested variances. What is pending with regard to the wetlands issue? Wetland special permit, Lisa?
Yes, I believe where we left off at the last meeting was that you just required the permit itself, so that I have
Right.
prepared.
Okay. All right. This matter is already closed, so I'm not going to be asking for any comments from anyone here or online. Has everyone had a chance to review the proposed wetland special permit drafted by Lisa? Everyone okay with it? Everyone done?
Yep.
Do I hear a motion to approve the wetland special permit as proposed?
Second.
Second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Oh, that's right. I'm looking at Linda. She's like shaking her head. Sorry, Linda. All right, that's great. Now, we also have variances, and Brian very kindly prepared an opinion and circulated it. Has everyone had a chance to take a look at the opinion on the requested area variances for the Meadow Club submission? Everyone seen those who can vote? All right. Any questions on those? We'd like to discuss those. We've closed the case, so no comments from everyone here? No comments? All right. Do I hear a motion to approve the opinion as drafted by Brian, granting the variances as requested?
Just note that this is the amended decision.
The amended decision, correct.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, that takes care of the Meadow Club. Thank you very much. What other cases involving?
Vivo LLC.
Oh, Vivo is, all right. The next case is 3232. It's the Vivo LLC case, 1471 Meadow Lane. And the applicant is seeking a wetlands permit to construct a driveway gate 25.4 feet from the wetlands in a pre-existing driveway. We heard this matter at the last zoning board meeting. We discussed it, and Brian was asked to draft an opinion, which is favorable.
Lisa
and-
was asked.
I'm sorry?
Lisa Rickmers was asked to draft the wetlands.
I'm sorry,
permit.
Lisa Rickmers was asked to draft the wetlands special permit, and we closed the hearing pending the draft, if you will. The opinion has been provided by counsel. I'd like to ask by Lisa, I'd like to ask her to make any comments about it that she might have, and then we can discuss it. Lisa?
Yeah, so this is, if you recall, we've seen the property before. They had come in for a wetlands permit related to a dock, and then subsequently for just a driveway gate. So this is for the driveway gate on that property that we already evaluated. I did prepare, again, the secret documents, not identifying any significant environmental impacts. The construction associated with the driveway gate is really minimal. It's in line with the requirements of the Wetlands Code as it's been placed as far from the wetlands as possible to serve its purpose. So I prepared a wetlands permit for that acknowledges this, similar conditions as always for just construction according to plans and minimizing sedimentation and erosion control. And I think it's ready to be both for the seeker determination to be made and the application to be approved.
Okay, all right. Has everyone had a chance to take a look at these as prepared? Yes? All right. So we're being asked to adopt a negative declaration that the zoning board is a lead agency, this is the secret piece, that the project is a type 1 action, the action is not likely to have a significant environmental impact. Do I hear a motion to adopt that negative declaration? Do I hear a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. All right, and secondly, do I hear a motion to approve the Wetlands Natural Resource Permit as drafted by Lisa subject to the construction per her plan and controls as specified in that permit? Do I hear a motion? Second? All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you, Lisa, for that.
Awesome.
All
I think
right.
there's just one more.
And, right, the next
I'm
case.
recused from this one.
That's right. The next case is case number 3238, Nicholas Royaton. That's 94 Boyson Road. And bear with me. In this case, the applicant seeks a wetlands permit to reconstruct an existing bulkhead on the water within 150 feet of the regulated wetland. It's on the water, so it's 0 feet. The matter was heard at the last hearing. We were asked to prepare an opinion, and the hearing was actually closed. The opinion has been prepared, or the documents have been prepared and circulated by Lisa. Lisa, can you offer any comments on this?
Yeah, so this, we looked at before, this one involves the bulkhead, and if you recall, the one issue there that I asked for resolution on was just understanding what the intent was going forward to resolve the discrepancy between the different permits that have already been obtained. So the applicant at the last hearing acknowledged that the DAC permit was the last permit that was received. That's going to be the controlling permit, and they are going to reconcile the prior permits with that. So with that understanding, the applicant has a DEC approval for work in the tidal wetlands. They have existing permits from the trustees of the freeholders and the Army Corps of Engineers, which will just need to be reconciled with the modified plan. And I believe that the design has been thoroughly vetted and is in conformance with the Wetlands Code. So I've also prepared a negative declaration as well for this, for under seeker, meeting the same qualifications as it always does, as all of these do. And I've prepared a special wetlands permit that just also has that additional acknowledgement in there that the applicant is responsible for reconciling the different other permits to conform to that final permit by the DEC, so that we are all in understanding of what the actual plan being implemented is.
Excellent. How is it that one can get different permits with different approaches?
So I think that because they have to get so many permits through this process, and they wanted to start them early, they started moving through the process, and when they got to the DEC had a lot of comments and did not want the design as originally approved by the others. I think the DEC probably has the highest, most rigorous standards in regard to this, and in particular the DEC was concerned there was an area that had naturally kind of been revegetated with wetlands plants, and they didn't want that to be disturbed in the reinstallation of the wall, and they required a different type of material to be used. So they ended up with a plan that was approved by 2 other agencies that really the DEC wasn't willing to approve. I don't think it's going to be an issue reconciling them with the other agencies because the wall that is being approved is further set back. So I think
right.
that it shouldn't be a difficult lift. But that's how the process evolved.
Okay. Yeah, because it's set back, as you put it. It's a duplicative wall set back with new materials. That's why I was
Yeah.
confused. Okay, I get it. Has everyone had a chance to take a look at the negative declaration and the wetlands permit application prepared by Lisa? Any questions, comments on this one? The bulkhead? No? All right. Do I hear a motion to adopt the negative declaration prepared by Lisa that the zoning board is the lead agency, the project is a type 1 action, and the action is not likely to have a significant environmental impact? Do I hear a motion?
Sure, motion.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. All right, and the second part, the wetlands permit. Do I hear a motion to approve the wetlands natural resource special permit as prepared by Lisa for construction of the bulkhead per the plan with the controls, but also importantly here, acknowledging that in there that they will reconcile the more recent DEC approved plan, they will reconcile the prior approvals so they're consistent with the DEC. Do I hear a motion to
Sure,
approve that?
motion.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Right.
Aye. All right.
Thank you, and thank you for Mr.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you. I think that's all you need me for tonight.
That's it? All right, you are free.
Take care.
Thank you
Bye.
very
Thanks,
much,
Lisa.
Lisa. I
Have a good
appreciate it.
evening. Stay cool.
All right, now we're going to go back to our original agenda, and we're going to go to the second case, which is 36 Corrigan Street, case number 3229, Brad and Kenneth Rosenberg. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Good to see you again.
So the last time we were here, we discussed our revised application, and the board asked the ARB to...
Mike's not live.
It's not live?
We just need you to speak real close to
Yeah.
it and then just introduce yourself for the record. Thanks.
Lisa Zaloga, architect, 436 Corrigan Street. The last time we were here, we were going to send this to the Architectural Review Board and see what they had to say. The board did review our revised submission where we had set the second floor back, reduced the height, reduced our cubic footage of relief that we were asking for. And I think it went to the Architectural Review Board on June 22nd. So we are here. We have seen, I've seen the video of what happened at the Architectural Review Board. Obviously, I was not there. And we submitted, at that time, some renderings showing what the project as had been submitted would look like from the street. But I'm interested to hear what you guys thought about the ARB.
I contacted Mark McIntyre of the ARB prior to that, and he said until they had heard the case and heard all the facts, he couldn't give me any written opinion or verbal opinion. That's where he was. So I couldn't get anywhere because he didn't have a case before him, understandably. So that's what happened with the ARB.
Okay.
Okay?
So I don't know if the board has seen the renderings that were submitted right, I think on that Tuesday, right after that ARB meeting.
Did you submit them to us?
They were submitted, they were put in the Dropbox for the Architectural Review Board,
Right,
but
but
unfortunately,
not to us?
they had their meeting.
I've not seen them.
Okay. So when I watched the meeting that took place for the Architectural Review Board, there was some comment from the board that they were, because this is technically just inside of the historic district, that they would prefer to see the garage perhaps set back and not quite in line with the bay window, with the front of the house.
Mhm.
So just for informational purposes, we did two things. We have revised the drawings again, which is now, I'll submit it tomorrow, or maybe Monday if you guys are closed. And so it was not submitted in time for this meeting, but just for your information, we've done a couple of things. We have relocated the driveway entrance so that it does not look directly at the garage doors. It's actually moved south, which you'll see in the renderings. So when you look into the driveway entrance, you'll be basically looking towards the back of the house, towards lawn. You will not be looking at the garage doors itself. We have also modified the the floor plans and the elevations to maintain the bay window that's there. And in doing that, it reduces or makes the covered porch no longer an issue. We're not asking for the covered porch anymore. And we have pushed the wall, the face of the garage door, back so that it is only 20 inches proud of the existing wall that's there. So it's behind the bay window. And you'll see that in the elevations and the plans that will be resubmitted to you.
Okay.
I also pushed back the second floor shed dormer that is between the two gables, so that that's 4 feet back from the face. So it's 44 feet from the street. As we discussed previously, you know, this property has a larger setback than all of the other properties on Corrigan Street that are to the north. So they all have a 40-foot setback, and our entire second floor meets that 40 feet. It does not meet what our zoning is, because we're still zoned with Hill Street, but it does meet what all of the other neighbors to the north of us are required to have. And the majority of it actually is 44 feet, so it actually is further back. I also went down.
What is the ground floor setback where the pushback garage will sit?
The
Where the
ground
bay
floor-
window
the-
sits and where the non-porch side sits?
The non-porch side, I'm not changing that, so that's actually at 40 feet.
Okay.
The bay window is set at, 35,
0.4?
yeah,
Something
or
like that.
35.6.
So it's staying the same?
That's staying the same. The only thing that we're asking for is 20 inches on the garage side in order to actually allow a minimum-sized car to get into it.
And what will that setback be?
So that setback would be 38.8
Okay.
plus or minus. But it will be actually behind the bay window. If you look at the plan of the bay window is not, the angled part of the bay window does not actually start at the house, the 40-foot setback. It comes forward perpendicular to the house
Mm-hmm.
by that 1'8". And so we're just going to align with that perpendicular part of the bay window. But the plans will be put in for you.
Okay.
And then the other thing, like I said, that I did, I went down every house on Corrigan Street, and I created a chart that tells you whether the garage is attached or detached, or whether it's vacant or there's no garage,
Right.
the number of bays that are in that garage, and whether they're street facing or not. And at the bottom, I give you percentages. 89.4% of the houses on Corrigan Street have garages. There's 2 vacant properties. There's 4 houses that do not have garages. And it breaks down that setback for, those percentages for you and how many of them have it.
So let me ask, so I noticed that there were, I'm looking at attached garage just because yours will be attached. So
Mhm.
For consistency with the neighborhood, consistency with similar houses, that's what I'm looking at. And it said that 10 of them were not street facing. The garages were not street facing.
Correct.
5 were street facing, facing Corrigan,
Mhm.
5. And 6 faced other streets,
Mhm.
but were street facing. Hill
Mhm.
Street, Center, Bernadine, and Dodge.
Mhm.
So it's 10, 5, and 6, or put another way, 10 versus 11, depending on if you care about what street it is, which I don't know that we do. So I thought that was interesting. But what we had asked for in the prior meeting is, and there's a map one can use to figure this out, which I haven't done. What are the setbacks for other, well, I guess that's not as relevant anymore because you've changed it. I asked for what are the setbacks for those garages,
Correct. And
the feet.
it's a little difficult to get all of the surveys for all of those properties. What I can tell you is that most of the detached garages that are pre-existing.
Well, I'm more interested in the attached.
Okay.
But detached are
most of
usually
those
detached in
most
the
of those
back.
are non-conforming in terms of setbacks, but it's side yard setbacks,
Right.
Not
Yeah.
front yard setbacks. So from a front yard step back, a lot of the newer houses that are to the north of our house meet their 40-foot setback, right? But again, they have a 40-foot setback where we have a 60-foot setback.
No, I understand that.
So hence, that's the reason that I need the variance.
Okay. So Alex, does she have access to the measuring map you were telling me about?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which one?
The Suffolk County GIS,
Okay.
where you can approximate.
I can use, I mean, it's probably not 100% accurate,
Correct.
but I can certainly do that for you if you'd like.
I'm only interested in the attached garages
Okay.
that face a street.
Okay.
The reason is I just want to see how close you are to everybody,
Yeah.
how closely you are aligned or in the same as everyone else, because it
Mhm.
may be that you're very much similar to the others, so that would be very helpful for your
Okay.
case, if you will. So I just think it'd be great to say, well, you know, there's there's 5 that face Corrigan, there's 6 that face other streets, that's 11, and they are 40, 41, 38, whatever,
Mhm.
whatever, and ours is going to be X.
Okay.
That would be a comparable comparison that would be helpful. That's why
fine.
I'm
And
asking.
just so you understand, though, I will say that it's approximate.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
not, you
right.
know, because I
We're
can't
playing with a
swear
map.
to it.
Yeah, I
so
understand that. All
That's
right,
all, that's
thank
fine. I can add that to the chart for you.
Okay. Well, thank you. Do you have anything else to add before we ask for other
No,
comments?
I think that's it.
All right, thank you very much for your
Of course.
patience. And we look forward to hearing more, you know, with the next submission. Does anyone here in the audience have any comments to make on this application for 36 Corrigan? Yes? All right, come on forward, state your name and your address for the record. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Carmel Culver, and I'm at 49 Corrigan Street. I'm here with my husband. I've been here several times, so I think you've heard many times what my concerns were and my husband's regarding the project. I also looked at the garages pretty carefully down the street, and I saw 4 attached garages. Maybe there are 5, you know. They're all pre-existing. They've been there many years. There is one quite close to the street on a 1,500 square foot ranch that's part of the house that was probably built in the 50s. It's across from a very mature hedge and that covers the whole house, so it has no impact on the neighboring properties. And then it goes from there. You know, I can't measure them. I only can see visually, but you know, I would just like to reiterate my concerns about this property, that it's very large and overmassed. It's a property that's already built out to the max width and depth. And I think that the request for the 5 variances is a huge ask, and to bring a house that's already non-conforming, not even at 60, but probably with the rest of the neighborhood forward, is, you know, something very concerning to us. I just saw these pictures for the first time and your revised plans, so it's, you know, kind of hard to comment on it, but it's very concerning that, you know, if you request these kinds of variances and we have a home like this, is that going to set a precedent for the rest of the neighborhood when people come forward and want to build homes or, you know, make significant expansions and ask for these variances? You know, somebody came up, there's been a lot of discussion about the house in the neighborhood, and I cannot speak for other people, and I wouldn't. But, you know, someone said to me, what do you care about this? You know, someday Tina's house won't be there and a big house will be built, and the lot next to you, you know, that's empty will have a home, and your house. And I said, well, thank you very much for reminding me of my mortality. I hadn't really thought of it that way. But when that happens, or if it happens, I said those homes will conform to the R20 zoning. They'll have the setbacks that are required, you know. They won't be overmassed and closer to the street. And, you know, it's in all likelihood not going to happen. So I really would ask you to very seriously consider the granting of these requests, because it is not a home that looks anything like the rest of the homes surrounding it in size or mass if this goes forward. And I think that's all tonight.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Appreciate
much.
it.
Thank you very much. Does anyone else have any comments on the application? Yes? And again, your name and your address. Appreciate it. Hello.
I'm Tina Stubelic. I live directly across the street in 39 Cargan Street. And I can appreciate these people wanting to do what they want to do. But it is in the historic district, and that's really my concern, that there will be a precedent set by this. And because their house is actually on a very small buildable lot, 14,000 square feet, that's a big concern of mine. And the leg, they call it, is 6,000 square feet. I don't know how many feet of which there are 2 easements on. And that hasn't been talked about at all. So the other part that I am concerned about is the height, the mass of the house. I have been driving around, and there are 3 houses in particular. They are new houses, one on Bernadine and Corrigan, the corner, one on Cooper Farm Lane and White Street on the corner, brand new one, and one on Breeze Lane and Cooper Lane. And they all have the same idea, the pushback in the center and the 2 towers. But they're all in an area where there are new houses. So to say that this house is going to fit in to an older neighborhood is not fair, because it's not. And whatever they do to it, it doesn't change the size of the house on this small piece of property. And I am concerned about it being set a precedent for the historical district. In this town, or the village, you did a great job on Hill Street. Everybody really did a great job. Had the historic district not been set, Southampton Village would not be what it is today. And I'm just concerned with my little section of Corrigan Street. It has an atmosphere. I'm not saying it's absolutely necessary, but it has an atmosphere. When you turn the corner, you see the same historic feeling, and then you go up the street, and as you go up the street, you can really see what happened. And that's fine. But in our area, I think it's important that you consider that it is, although we're not in the historic district, and I've often thought maybe I would like to designate my house historic. But if this happens, I'm not sure where we stand, because the house next to me, Carmel Culver's house, and Eric's house, they all have this nice feeling of Southampton Village. And these towers on the side with the pushback and the height of the building, in my opinion, design-wise, it just doesn't fit. So I'd appreciate very much if you consider it, and consider we have very little historic left, really. I don't know if they're trying to do more, but I don't think that's going to happen. That's just my opinion.
May I ask you something? You
Sure.
raised something I haven't heard before in all these discussions. What is your concern with 2 easements that are on the part of the property that connect the property to Hill Street?
The 2 easements are their driveway easements for a
Right.
circular driveway. And on the man who owns 499 Hill Street
Right.
had constructed an arbor on the entrance to the driveway. Going up, it goes across the driveway and comes down on both sides, and it was stopped in the middle. Now, it's my understanding that they tried to have him remove it. Now, I don't know if those arbors are on his property or on which property they
But
on.
what are the concerns specifically that relate to this particular
Well,
application?
it takes away from the amount of land you're saying they have. Maybe it's just a little bit, but this extension that is 6,000 square feet, and the only reason they can build this house is because they're taking that and saying it's part of the actual property that they're building on. And
No.
just doesn't make
All right.
sense.
I understand your concern. It's
You know?
the nature of the dog life. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate
And
it.
initially, that was made for whoever built this house, and that's questionable too. But here we are. Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Thank you for your
Appreciate
comments.
it.
Appreciate that. Are there other comments on the application from anyone present here? None others? And we don't have anyone who's joined us on Zoom, correct? Okay. I'm not going to open up deliberations because we have to get the new plans. Do we all agree on that? All right. Do I hear a motion to adjourn this?
Wait,
Oh,
can I just say
please.
one thing?
Please, please.
I just want to make a couple comments. So the talk of the R20 setbacks, we are with everything except for 20 inches of a garage meeting what everybody else on Corrigan Street has, the R20 setbacks. We're meeting the 40 feet.
Well, she's not talking about the setback. She's talking about the
No,
gross
the
allowance.
first woman spoke about the
Oh, sorry.
setbacks.
I'm on the
First
second
one.
person.
Sorry.
Sorry.
She spoke about the setbacks
I see.
and saying that, in the future, people will be able to come in and get a variance
Ah.
to be closer than that. We are asking to be able to use the same setbacks that everybody
Everyone
else on that
else, right.
street has.
Right.
So that's the 40 feet. If this property were zoned appropriately, that wouldn't be an issue, right? Secondly, we meet our gross floor area, we meet our green space, we meet our lot coverage. We're not asking for any variances to be supersized or to be oversized. The ridge height of the gables is 25 feet, 5 feet under 30 feet, which is probably the maximum height here. Our eave height, where the gables come down, is 17'7". We have a 9-foot hedge in front. If you look at those renderings, you're barely going to see this. The other neighbors are 1.5-story houses and 2-story houses as well. And then the only other thing about the area to the north, it's just, I will get you the information for the setbacks for the attached garages, but we're not looking to do anything that's different than 90% of Corrigan Street. So
That's why I'm asking for the actual footage, the best we can get it, so we can get the facts and then I think that'll help clarify the discussion.
And the neighbor that has illegally constructed arbors on my client's property, I mean, the village has gone after them. They've been noticed violations. I mean, I suppose my client can file something civilly, but he didn't do it. So, I don't know what to say about that.
Yeah, okay.
Also, I'm not sure that the design of the
Speaking of
house, I'm not sure that the design of the house has to do with the zoning board and not the
Yeah.
architectural review
Right,
board.
the 2 towers and the thing in the middle and all
So
that.
the
yeah.
objections that we've heard from the floor really need to be addressed to the other board.
Except to the extent we're going to say it's out of character and it's inconsistent with the current look in the community.
Yeah.
That's where we trip over that line a little bit. But I hear what you're saying. No, yeah, I hear it. I hear you.
No, okay.
So the question would be, what is the neighborhood?
Well, that's why I'm asking for certain measurements and so on. I'm trying to figuring out what is the neighborhood on
I
the
mean,
garage. 'cause
I
these would be the
took all
garage.
of the houses on Corrigan Street. I don't know, do we get to just say it's only 2 houses?
Yeah.
What's the neighborhood?
I hear you. I hear you. Tom?
I'm good.
Lauren?
The renderings, those are they reflect the most current.
These reflect what was originally shown to you and what you guys sent to the Architectural Review Board.
Okay.
I will submit new renderings
Okay,
that
that's
will
what-
match the
that's
new
what I want.
plans of
Okay.
maintaining the bay window
Right.
that the neighbors seemed to feel was very
So,
nice.
just so you know, we didn't submit anything to the ARB. We don't submit anything to the ARB.
I
So
apologize.
I
You
don't wanna-
sent it- You sent it for referral, correct?
Yeah, we consulted, but what plans, I thought we were going to get the plans you just described.
You're going
Okay.
to, you're going to,
I
and
wanna
you're
know
going
what
to
that
get an
was.
updated rendering.
What that was that we're looking at here is not what we're going to get. We're
Oh,
gonna
it's
get a
not?
new-
Correct.
That's what I wanted.
Oh, that's the
to-
original
This,
one.
this
Oh,
is,
thank you.
this is the original thing that was
Oh,
sent
yeah,
to the architectural
because you can see the
review
garage
board.
right from the street and all that, yeah.
So you will get a revised rendering that shows the
Thank you.
maintaining of the bay window.
That
Right.
would be helpful, yeah.
Yeah,
Very helpful.
okay, great. All right, made a lot of moves since we last saw you.
Jumping through hoops.
There you go. Do I hear a motion to adjourn this case? And should we adjourn it to our next meeting, which happens to be July 16th? We're having a second one this month, or would you like us to push it into the next month?
No, this is all
All
done
done,
now,
right,
so
all
yeah,
right.
I can submit to you.
Any concerns with that?
No, and if the board wants to see the ARB's discussion, it's available on the village's
definitely.
YouTube channel.
Yeah, we can take a look at that. All right, do we hear a motion to adjourn this case until 7:16?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, see you on the
Thanks,
16th. Thank
Happy
you.
4th.
Happy 4th of July. All right. So with that, we're going to be moving on to other area variance cases, but in this case, new cases. 262 Pond Lane, case number 3239. Thank you.
And this is a new case. I have the affidavit of mailing and posting.
Thank you.
Thank you for taking care of that, Alex. John Bennett for the applicant, Bennett Reed, 212 Woodman Lane, Southampton, New York. Oliver Cope is the project architect.
What-
Is with
what
me.
is
Always
this?
a pleasure to work with Oliver. This is all stuff that's in the record. Am I facing
They
these
have this
toward you?
already?
I always forget. I'm sorry. Am I facing?
I can't see them at all.
Oh, wonderful.
And that's all stuff that's in the record. I just wanted to make it easier for everyone to.
Whoa.
thank you.
Okay, so let me just say for the record, from now on, Thursday before the meeting.
This is all stuff that's in the record.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I
no, that's
apologize.
why I said it.
I'm
If it is,
hearing all these
then
other.
hopefully
I
have it already.
apologize.
No, I just thought it'd be easier to packages to flip
No,
through.
you're very kind. Thank you.
Okay.
I appreciate that.
So, let me put this stuff out here. Again, all this stuff is in the record. What do we have here? Okay, I'll shift from. I just want to make sure that I'm facing them the correct way.
Facing yourself.
Face them to me south?
To
Me
yourself.
south, all right. That's grand. All right. All right. North is up. Okay, north is up for a change. Again, all the stuff that Oliver handed up to you, and this stuff is already in the record.
These are the original plans that were submitted, correct?
Yep.
Same thing?
Yep.
All right.
So, this is as you can see, a fairly uniquely configured pre-existing non-conforming parcel. It's a 2-acre parcel in a 3-acre zone. Not exactly ideal planning, about as far away as you can get from a rectangular lot, but there we have it. I hope that you've driven down Pond Lane because this has been this way forever. It's really part of the sense of the place. It's an open field. And it leads back to the southerly part of the property, which is, it's the fat part of an L. And all the habitable space is in the southeasterly portion of the property. That's where we want to keep it. That's where the neighbors prefer it. There's a letter of support from the neighbors to both the east and west of the property. And so this may be helpful for you. There's letters of support from the Mr. Hilty, who's parcel B, and then from Ms. Taylor, who I think is here tonight, but there's a letter of support also. And C and D are in the same beneficial ownership as the applicant. So it's been a very, by the way, the neighbors have been extremely helpful in this sort of cooperative dance to try to figure out what makes the most sense. Because everybody, including the applicant, wants to retain that sense of place that you have driving down Pond Lane. The existing house is way off in the back. You can't really see it from the street. And that's where the existing residential development is. That's where we want to keep it. It has the least impact on the character of the neighborhood, and I think it preserves that sense of place along Pond Lane. So the existing house is located 32.2 feet from the southerly property line. And there's a detached garage that's located at 5.7 feet from the southerly property line. You can see right here. So obviously the garage is wildly out of conformity, and the house is out of conformity because of this yard designation. I'm going to talk a little bit about that. I don't want to get in too much of a conflict with the building inspector because it was a tough one to figure out how the yards work on this property. But we're here, we're accepting the building inspector's determination, but I just want you to talk a little bit about a possible alternate interpretation. I'm not really pushing it because I think this is a tough way to figure out where the yards are. But in any event, the northerly portion of the property is narrow. It's 95 feet in width. That's less than half of the R120 zone, where this is, the 3-acre zone, half of the required 200-foot lot width. So again, we want to place the proposed single-family residence in the rear portion of the property where the existing development is and everyone's happy with it. One of the things that the neighbors were concerned about, and one of the things that's driving this variance, is, not surprisingly, they don't want any habitable space up in the front because it's narrow and also would impact greater on both Mr. Hilty's property and Ms. Taylor's property. So this has really been a very substantial negotiation to figure out where it makes the most sense. And to me, it's just so obvious.
When you use those two names, are those people, individuals who live on either side of that frontage?
Ms. Taylor lives to the west. She's shown, and I think she's here this evening.
I am.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi, Amanda.
But they're
How
on
are you?
either side. That's all I want to know.
Excuse me? They're on either side.
Got it.
Mr. Hilty's A, and Ms. Taylor, who identified herself, no, Mr. Hilty's B, there's a letter of support from him, and Ms. Taylor is A. And then C and D, they're beneficially owned by the applicant. The applicant, obviously, everybody uses LLCs and corporations, but the applicant, the principal, the applicant owns C and D and has acquired the subject property. So we're surrounded by, with the exception of Mr. Howard, I think, to the east, we're surrounded either by ourselves or by two people who support the application. And for obvious reasons, I think, want to keep the development, the habitable space where it is now. So in any event, but so we have the existing house in the back. We're going to take away the garage, and we're going to put a new house there, hopefully, with your help. The new house is proposed at 35.5 feet, which it would be conforming if it was a side yard, but it's not. It's a rear yard. It's less by a couple feet non-conforming than the existing house, but it's non-conforming, thus the variance. I want to give you this. This is what we used to call part of in the old days of practical difficulty in terms of these weird, this strange shaped lot. There's another way you could look at it, and I really don't want to fight the building inspector because it's really challenging to figure out where the yards were here. But the code defines a lot line front as the street right-of-way line at the front of the lot. Now here, that's obviously Pond Lane, right over here. And then the rear lot line is defined as the lot line opposite the front lot line, which is no question it is here, opposite the front of Pond Lane. But when you get down here, it's not opposite Pond Lane, it's opposite another building lot. All I'm telling you is that I'm okay with the way the building inspector interpreted the lot lines, because what the building inspector said is, this is the front yard, all of this is rear. I don't think that's the case, but I'm not willing to go to war on that because it's a difficult choice here, but I felt it would be remiss of me not to mention that because it just adds into the what we used to call the practical difficulty of this rather odd shape. But you see what I'm saying? The definition of a lot line front is here, and the rear is opposite the front lot line, which would take you down to here, but this yard here, which the building inspector is calling a rear yard, is opposite another building lot. It's not opposite the front yard, but I'm okay with it. I'm here for the variance. I'm not really bringing this up other than to say it's a complex issue here, and the building inspector had a choice, I don't necessarily agree with him, but we're going with it. Okay, but it goes into the actual practical difficulty of dealing with a lot that is arranged in this manner. But again, if this was designated as the way I would see it, which is not a rear yard, it'd be a side yard, so we wouldn't even need any relief. And again, Dr. Corman used to say to me when she was on the board, I would say, well, in the town, this would be as of right, because we'd be continuing along a pre-existing non-conforming front yard setback, but she always used to say to me, that's why we're in the village, Mr. Bennett. So, but I just, for other municipalities, this would be an as of right, because we're continuing along this pre-existing non-conforming. But in any event, we're not in other municipalities. We're in the village, and the building inspector has called this a rear yard. So even though we're decreasing the degree of nonconformity with our new house by a couple of feet, we still need a rear yard variance. That's the only variance we need for this for this house, to keep it in the area where everybody wants it, which is consistent with the character of the neighborhood, consistent with the sense of place, and is supported by the neighbors. I think that's really important.
So John, can I ask a question?
Sure.
Just to make sure I get the bottom line from all
Sure.
that. The proposed two-story house is 35.8 on one side and 35.5 on the other side.
The other side's a side yard.
They're saying, I'm just talking about
Okay.
those two, it should be 40, and that's why,
Should be-
it should be 40, you're saying?
No,
What
no,
the
no,
building
no.
inspector
No,
said?
because there's not two side yards.
Okay,
You're
sorry.
looking at a
Maybe
side
so.
yard.
Maybe I should.
No, I don't want you. Okay, Oliver, please.
You're saying that 35
You're not
point-
looking at a side
in the
yard.
application.
You're not looking at a
In the
side yard
application- in the-
and a side
John,
yard
hold on,
here.
let me
You're
ask a
looking at
question.
a rear yard and a
John,
side yard.
let me ask a question.
Yes.
Are you saying that are you asking for a variance on the 35.5?
On the rear yard.
On the 35.5 measurement? That's what it said in the application,
Yep, that's right.
right?
Yep.
Okay, that's all I want to know.
That's all. Oh, I thought you were saying, why isn't it 40
No.
and 40?
I-
Then I misheard you. I'm sorry. I apologize. If there were two side yards, it would have to be 40 and 40.
Just wanna know
But
what
it's
you're
a
asking the
side
variance
yard and
for.
rear yard. Okay. Sometimes a little knowledge, too much knowledge is dangerous. I'm sorry.
Just looking to see what you're asking for
Okay.
variance for.
So in any event, that's really what is necessary for the construction of the house in the rear, which is that rear yard variance to 35.5 to the south.
Right.
Everything else, I mean, the side yards are gargantuan relative to the requirement. 35-foot side yards, we have, what do we have, 100, it's hard for me to read,
This one.
over 100 feet on both of them, right? Yeah. So I mean, that's where we are. That's really
What's the
important.
current house?
The current house, the setback
Yeah.
is about, the current house is right here.
32.2.
32.5.
Yeah, it's already.
So we're only moving it 2 feet, but it's
That's
it's
32.2.
decreasing the degree of nonconformity, but it's also, if it was a side yard, it would be conforming. It's not a side yard, it's a rear yard. but
Okay.
We're trying to move it away. And again, the only relief necessary is that rear yard, to keep this house where everybody thinks it should be, and it only makes sense, because you're able to keep and I'm gonna talk to you about the garage, the only thing that's gonna happen in that area that's now, an open field is the garage, so.
Okay, so, but for clarity, given the questions that a fellow board member just asked, right now, the proposed two-story house on the south side, the former house, it says, is 32.2.
Correct, to the
And
southerly
you're looking
property
for,
line.
right, which is
Yep.
what the variance you want is.
Yep.
And the new is going to be 35.5,
Correct,
correct?
correct.
So less.
That's the one.
By a couple feet, yeah. It's less, so we're reducing the degree of nonconformity, that and taking away that wildly nonconforming garage.
They're improving
but
it by
we're
3 feet.
reducing the
Yeah.
degree of
Yeah.
nonconformity.
I'm trying to make
That's
the
what
point.
But, we
yeah,
still
don't-
need.
you and I are
There's a lot of
thinking
words
the
here,
same
but
thing.
that's all he's trying to do.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. I
And
got
if
it.
I'm making it more complicated, just pick up a bottle and throw it at me, that's fine.
You're trying to reduce the nonconformity by approximately 3 feet.
That's
That's the
all.
variance you're seeking for the proposed two-story house, and that's it.
That's it
So
for the
now we move
two-story
on
house.
to, I think, the garage, which is a little more interesting.
I don't know. This is the type of relief that this board has granted all the time on a front yard accessory structure. You've got a 90-foot setback requirement, but we're also in the front yard. But the garage, the proposed garage, it's which is, again, remember, everybody wants to keep any sort of habitable space out of that area, this portion of the property. So we have a garage there, and the garage is going to be about 190, it will be 193.3 feet south of Pond Lane. That's double the 90-foot setback requirement for an accessory structure. And usually, what's the whole purpose for having the village code section, which I think is a wise one? It says you not only have to meet the required setback for an accessory structure for the front yard, we want it out of the front yard. So you're not driving through any area of the village and your view of a house is obscured by a tennis court. I mean, in the town, you could have a house setback 200 feet, but you could put a tennis court right in front of it if you met the 90-foot setback. The village says wisely, I think, we don't want a beautiful house obscured by a tennis court or another accessory structure. But here, that's not an issue because you drive down the street, you see the garage almost 200 feet away, maintaining most of this open space, and the house is tucked back into here. So I think the reason why the village wisely keeps accessory structures out of the front yard is not an issue here. And again, when you have this significant amount of front yard setback, which you can achieve, the board, in my experience, and just generally practicing for the board for some time, has been fairly understanding with that. We do need a little bit of side yard relief there. Why is that? Because we don't want to move this existing. We're trying to do no violence whatsoever to the setup of the existing open space area. And when I say open space, I say that in quotes. It's not technically open space, but there's no structures in there. We want to keep that driveway where it is, so that when you come down the driveway, you turn into a parking court. And what this enables us to do is to keep the garage doors away from the front of the street, even though it's 200 feet away. I know not necessarily your concern, but I will tell you that the ARB does not like front-facing garage doors if they can be avoided. So that gives us the room to come. I'm sorry.
It's not our purview, but we've approved very few front-facing garages.
Yeah, I know. They've only had a few where, because you try to get it out of
They're ugly.
Yeah, you try to get it out of the front. So that was the thinking on that. I mean, there's been a really lot of thought and knowledge about what the board wants, and also what the neighbors want on this. So that's where we are. We do have letters. Ms. Taylor's here, and Mr. Hilty sent in a letter in support, and that's important because I won't bore you with the cases that both of mine where the courts have said one of the things you look at for whether or not there's any impact on the character of the neighborhood is if you have strong support from the neighbors. So this is important because
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
What's the rationale behind keeping the garage so far away from the main part of the house when you have seemingly enough room for a garage back near the house?
They have existing garage back there.
Yeah, you already have it. I mean, I know that, it's probably a tear down and you would want to reconstruct it, but why wouldn't you keep the garage near the house? That seems like a long way to walk with your groceries.
Well, candidly, this is an attempt to get the benefit of some of that space up front, number one. Number two, we did push it back 200 feet as not to affect that sense of openness. And candidly, this will be one of 3 homes controlled by the applicant, so the concern about walking to this particular residence was not that significant.
But why not use the footprint of the existing garage that's to be removed?
Because it's wildly out of conformity. It's 5.7 feet from the rear yard, and everything tells me in my practice and the way I think this board is supposed to look at it, if I can take away existing nonconformities, I'm supposed to do that.
Well, the reason I'm asking is it's in the backyard, if you will. It's not in the front area up front, and that's why she's asking.
Yeah, but the existing footprint of the existing garage would still be wildly out of conformity with the required 35-foot setback.
But putting that issue aside,
Right.
because it's pre-existing non-conforming, it avoids putting it up front by the street.
Yes, I understand that, but think about what we have here. I have 2 acres, and all of this, I don't think it's quite fair to essentially say I can't use any of this.
We're not saying that, we're just saying that the concern seems to be, it seems like it would be ill-advised to put a garage in the front.
Given the circumstances and given the ownership of the adjoining parcels, and given this is
All
really
right,
a
and that's-
compound, it would typically would be a very significant concern, but it just isn't in this instance. That's my answer. I don't really have
Okay.
another one.
Fair answer.
I'm sorry,
All
Linda,
right,
I
no.
don't have another one.
All right.
I can't criticize your concern about that, but it's essentially a compound, so it's not gonna be an issue.
Are there houses on these other 2 lots?
Oh, yeah.
There are.
Yeah. So that was the thought on that one. And again, there's fairly minimal side yard relief. It's the existing single-family residence. It has an antiquated septic system. Obviously, when we build the new house, it's going to be all conforming wastewater systems. And in terms of the house, what's going on there, 2/3 of the house is an indoor padel court. So from the point of view of noise attenuation, it's pretty significant. It's
2/3
all-
of the house?
2/3 of the house. And why do you say 2/3? Because since when you get to more than 16 feet in height under the village code, you get hit for double the gross floor area.
So 2/3 of this is gonna be a padel
The
court?
barn barn.
The barn
is
barn, yeah.
really-
Including
it-
the air
it-
rights, including the air.
I got it.
barn.
The building's mostly an interior padel court, and that counts twice, because it's more than 16 feet high. So that's you get hit twice for the GFA. It's about 2,900 square feet, which is 2 bedrooms, a gym, a living room, and a dining room, and a kitchen. So in terms of minor impact on the land, you got 2 bedrooms, in terms of traffic, impact on the property, wastewater generation, it's really a win, I think. It's great that somebody can achieve this, but I wanted to you to be aware of the fact that essentially 2/3, I don't think I'm overestimating, it's about 2/3, a little bit more.
Well, given,
It's like almost
footprint wise not, but yes,
Yeah,
because we doubled the
GFA.
count
Yeah, you have to
because of
double
the
it.
height, so, yeah.
It's an indoor padel court with absolute 100% sound attenuation, so, which is.
So it's like a little sports center
Yeah.
in the
It's
middle
like-
of this compound?
Like Stevenson, right on the front of, is that
Mhm.
First Neck or South Main?
Yeah, no,
South
it's on
South
South Main.
Yeah, right. But in any event, so that's the goal here. And
I see.
and again, I want to thank Ms. Taylor, who has very substantial concerns about having any large sort of habitable structures in the front. So we have opted merely to put a garage there. But that was a big concern of hers, and I do want to again remind everybody that there's absolutely, in this northerly part of the property, there's absolutely no request for any sort of large structure, any habitable space whatsoever. She was very kind to, and her organization was very kind to have a very open dialogue, as was Mr. Hilty. We're really trying to do this in a way that has the least impact on the neighborhood and has the least impact on the neighbors. And I think everybody realizes that, you know, it's given its size, it's 2 bedrooms, a gym, and mostly sound attenuated padel.
It's a commitment.
So we would comply with all the requirements for the main structure with the exception of that rear yard. We are reducing the nonconformity a little, but you know, every by a couple feet, every bit helps. And it's like one of these. This is why the zoning board of appeals was made to deal with properties like this, because it doesn't, you know, the typical setbacks are set up for rectangular lots, square lots. And again, I'm fine with the way the building inspector interpreted it, but there is an alternate interpretation, and I only give you that for the the sake of understanding that it's a complicated lot that in the old days would be a sort of a land use exam question for practical difficulties. I'm trying to think of what else that I can, do you want to, Oliver, do you want to see what the building looks like, what the interior of it looks like, or would you like to, Oliver, take a look
I
at
have
it?
exterior 3D, that's all.
Yeah.
We have what's been submitted.
Yeah, I mean, if you're happy with that, that's
Yes.
fine.
I'd renovation.
Oh, you will. When they're done, I'm going to the audience, definitely.
You may not be familiar with it, but 252 First Neck, which is one of the adjacent parcels, it's an 1893 classic kind of colonial revival gambrel roofed house. It's white, and when we took it on, it had been bastardized for many years, but we brought it back to its kind of original integrity. We also did, for the same people, 260. So there's a kind of compound, as John said, in the works here. This is more about sitting it in more garden than anything else. And that's why we don't want to bring the garage and more driveway back there, because it's more about keeping it green as much as anything else. So.
Okay.
But given essentially, you're gonna have the first 200 feet off of Pond Lane, essentially green space.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other comments before we go to others?
All set.
All right,
All
thank
set.
you for your comments. Anyone in the audience like to make a comment on this application? Yes, come on forward, state your name and your address, and love to hear from you.
Hi, Amanda Taylor, 232 First Neck Lane. I did agree to support this with some conditions, and I'd like to be clear that when this plan was presented to me, there was an alternate plan presented as well that had the two-story structure in the pond lane, in the field, where the garage is now scheduled to be, as an alternative. And Harold Grant and others said to me that by right, Mr. LaFont could build in the field behind me. And obviously, I didn't want a two-story building looming over my property. So I very much appreciated that they instead said, we're going to put it in the back. And that doesn't affect me at all, so I'm obviously very happy about that. But Linda, I appreciated your question about why can't the garage go back there? And I was told by Harold and others that frankly the LaFonts don't want to look at a garage behind this property, or behind the new structure. Which I understand, because frankly, I don't want to look at a garage behind me either. You know, he should be able to do what he wants with his property, but I would very much appreciate if the variance would be granted to build in the proposed location, that any building on the field hopefully be taken off the table. My concern about the garage is, there's several concerns. It hasn't been made clear to me if that's going to be a one-story property or a two-story property, the garage. It is directly behind my home, where there's in one corner in particular, in that weird sort of corner where it, in front of the proposed garage, there is a plan to put a parking pad there, and there are 3 really beautiful old trees there where the parking pad is currently. And I have had discussions with Mr. Bennett and an email exchange with Mr. LaFont saying, please don't take down those beautiful, huge old trees to put up a parking lot. It's literally paving paradise and putting up a parking lot. And there has been some back and forth that concessions will be made to accommodate my request. So hopefully that will happen. My strong preference would be to not have a garage like that built directly behind my property in a front yard. I just think it's kind of strange. At the same time, I want to be a nice neighbor and respect Mr. LaFont's desire to put a padel court next to his tennis court and pickleball court, and create a very nice compound for his family. So that's really all I got.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, I guess
Any other comments from anyone else in the audience?
I just want to reassure.
One second.
Yeah.
We'll come back to you. I'm sorry. Just want to let other people have a moment. Is anyone else here who would like to make any comments on this application? No? And we still have no one on the Zoom, correct? All right. Go ahead. Thank you.
Okay, sorry. First of all, with respect to the trees, they're as precious to the clients and in some ways to me. So we did not cite the parking to conflict with the trees. I went and tagged them myself. There's a cherry. Can you see if I mark up?
It's not up here.
They can put it.
Yeah.
Okay.
1 second. He's going to put it up for us.
There we
There
go.
you go.
Thank you.
There's a cherry tree.
You're not under the.
You're not on the,
Uh,
there you go.
You want to come over to the right, perhaps? Just get this out of here.
Well, I'm gonna
The map.
want to go to that in a second.
There you go.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
they're-
great,
They're
okay.
all right.
So there's a cherry here.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
There are black locusts here, here, and there's one here. This one is quite damaged, but be that as may as there. On this side of the property, which is 252 First Neck and also belongs to same beneficial ownership, there's a very large sycamore maple and another very good sized sycamore maple right there. And we're not going to touch any of those because we like them. There's also a big multi-stem cherry over here, which we're going to preserve. So at the moment,
As I said to the
Yeah.
people, the only tree that'll probably go is that black locust, which is, they can get pretty big, but essentially they're weed trees. So that one, to the extent that has to come down, it'll come down. But it's in bad shape.
And
I'm not an arborist, but I can see that myself.
and we're likely to want to plant more. The other thing, and I just, the aerial view that we have.
Sorry, just pointing out something.
Yeah, just the
Sorry.
adjacencies. We're here. We actually were fairly deliberate about placement because with Mr. Hilty's property, there's an old tennis court here, and then Amanda has her tennis court right here. So we're sort of flanked by the courts. And that may not have been her favorite place for us to put it, but I was at least attempting to put it between two things that were not inhabited all the time. There wasn't anybody going to be in a second floor window overlooking it. It seemed like a reasonable compromise for the position. It's also limited by the accessory dwelling height, accessory structure, 16 feet. Yeah.
It's 16
Yeah.
feet, 3 cars, 16 feet.
It's pretty modest.
It's very, very modest.
Okay. Any other comments before we open it up here for discussion?
Well,
This
yeah,
has
and
been very
I just
helpful.
want to say that given our attempts to figure out something that works for everybody, it's important that garage be there. We made great attempts to make it so that it will be non-intrusive, very low, centered on the property. And given the fact that, we're essentially saying, okay, we're going to keep the house back here, I don't think it would be fair to take away the use, all of the use of this property, given the fact that, again, it's a 200-foot setback. And I think, people are entitled to utilize their property. One thing I did say to Ms. Taylor's people in Atlanta is, once this house is here, I can't put any habitable space up there. The village says you can have You can't have detached habitable space, so this garage is not gonna, you're not gonna find a guest house there, you can't have it. You know? So the whole idea is to keep this area non-habitable. I couldn't build any other, habitable space up there. The village is quite clear that you cannot have any sort of detached habitable space. Town of Southampton, you can have a carriage house. We don't have that law here. The only thing that's even close in the village is there isn't an accessory apartment law in the village, but despite 20 years of people trying to do something different with that law, it has to be in the house. It has to be in the main house. So you can't have any sort of. But I just give that to Ms. Taylor for her comfort to know that once this house is built, nothing habitable would go up here. So we think, given, people should be able to utilize their property, that the garage is a reasonable ask. That's it.
All right, thank you. So I'm going to turn it over to the board now so we can discuss. Comments?
Would it be helpful to ask Ms. Taylor if there was a landscaping plan that could maybe?
Yes.
Ms. Taylor, would you be able to consider an aggressive landscaping plan so that you wouldn't have to see the new garage and proposed, car space?
Sorry, we
Can
need you to.
Sorry to impose, but.
I just want to agree with Mr. Bennett that, yes, people should be able to utilize their property. I'm in no way trying to be difficult here. I'm a passionate conservationist, and the trees that one of them may be a weed tree, but they're really beautiful.
No, they are.
They're really beautiful. They're huge old trees, and directly behind my garden, and my garden is the pride and joy of my life.
I bet.
I think they're irreplaceable. So would I consider a landscaping plan? I mean, I don't know that I'm going to have an alternate choice. Of course, I would appreciate that. The proposed garage to me just seems kind of weird. As you noticed, the placement of it is odd. And it's likely to be somewhat noisy, and it's
So
not.
it's not a question of landscaping, it's a question of what's going in there.
Yeah, it's not ideal.
It's a garage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a garage.
Okay.
But it is certainly preferable, as was explained to me by Mr. Bennett and others. It's preferable to having the two-story building in the field. That was why I agreed to support it, because I was told that it was, and I think the plan that they have, I mean, from what I have seen, they have lovely taste. It looks like an attractive building. It's a padel court, like a sort of sports barn. And there is, a house there now that will be torn down. It seems reasonable to tear down an old building and replace it with a new one. I don't have any issue with that at all. I would be sad to see the trees go.
Well, we're not taking any trees down, Amanda. I just want, we can make that a condition of the approval. I don't care. They're to our client's benefit. Two or three of them are actually on the other property. So
Okay.
actually, it's nice because you get the ability to condition something
Okay.
on the next door
So,
property.
thanks for-
And if I may, just one last thing. There are very substantial privet on either side.
Okay, we need to deliberate.
All
Sorry,
right.
but we really do. Thank you for your
There
comments.
is a parking area there currently. I think it would just, it's difficult to, may I?
Yeah, of course, Amanda, of course, of course.
You can see from the drawings.
Hold on one second, he's going to put it up for us on the TV.
Okay.
There we go. You all set?
So that the other owners have this parking area there currently. So it's, I guess this drive court would expand the concrete footprint of the parking area. It is a very difficult lot.
Mhm.
I'm empathetic with the new owner. To try and incorporate it is challenging.
All right, thank you for your comments. All right, so back to us. What are your thoughts? Any comments, thoughts?
Okay, well, the house is great. Obviously, there's pushback on the garage.
Yeah,
It's fair.
Right?
that's where I come up to. House is fine, garage, not so much.
But as I understand the garage, it looks like it has all the appropriate setbacks.
The only
No.
setback it requires, well, it has all the.
For an
appropriate
accessory
setbacks.
structure.
Except it's an
Yeah, it needs a
accessory
little
structure.
relief to the west, because we want to keep it so we can keep the
That's supposed to be
The-
35, it's
yeah.
27.
the garage
That's
doors
understood.
away from the
This side's,
street.
1 second, we're
Oh,
talking.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Let the board talk, okay?
I was trying to respond to Tom. Sorry.
We're talking amongst ourselves, so that's what we need to do right now. This is 35, which is
Yep.
fine. That's supposed to be 35, it's 27.3. That's it.
Yeah.
The issue is not, is a small amount of footage, but most importantly, it's detached garage in the front.
And the parking court meets the coverage ratio for amount of land you can
Oh,
put
Yeah,
stuff.
way more than, there's a lot of, there's room to
There's a
spare.
lot of raw land
Yeah.
to the north of this garage.
200 feet.
Yeah.
200 feet.
My concern is the classic one we're all talking about, which is putting a detached garage in this front lot. That changes the character of Southampton.
Well, you've
And
done
I,
that.
what, we're talking amongst ourselves, sorry,
Yeah.
but that would be my concern. And you
At
can put it
least
in the
the
back,
door-
and there's plenty of room in the back. There's a
Yeah.
lesser, dramatic solution here. So that, I'm not pushing it, I'm just saying that would be my expression.
Well, what does the side of the garage look like that faces the street? The garage doors are on the south side of the garage.
Right,
So what is the north facade?
I'll show you,
Okay.
because I was looking at that myself. And it
I mean,
is,
this house is one thing. The house is magnificent.
If I may,
1 second, we're talking, hold on.
We're getting there.
We're gonna get there, we're trying to help. Where's the picture? Here we go. So, oh, sorry, that's the house, never mind, hold on, let me do it, I'm gonna find it.
Maybe they can put it on the
No, it's right
screen.
here. Okay, they can, but this is the one I'm going to show you, because this is, I had the same thought. I thought, I had different thoughts about it, but here we go. That's in the back,
Yeah.
facing the back,
That
where the
faces
paddle
south.
court- padel
Yeah.
courts.
Yeah.
That's what the street's going to see.
Oh, no, that's all.
Faces, yeah, that faces Pond Lane. I thought this was going to face it. Nope. That faces the driveway, so you can come out and go down that long
Is it-
driveway.
How hard
This
would it
faces
be
Pond
to
Lane.
make the north facade look more like the side, more like a house? This looks like an industrial.
Yeah, it does.
These two
Is this-
doors.
So you want to see what I'm looking at?
She's
This
looking
one.
at that one.
That's what Pond, if you're on Pond Lane, that's what you see?
This is what you see from Pond Lane, correct?
Okay,
No?
can I talk?
We
I just- I don't wanna
No,
miss
fair.
Okay.
only into a microphone.
Oh, yeah, we have to talk, we need to go back and forth lane.
Just turn
just
on
turn
his
that mic,
mic.
turn one of the mics.
Don't turn the mic.
No, don't, stand at
back
the
to
podium,
the
and,
I'll come back up here.
we're standing.
Okay. That is the garage that we put in 252. And what it does not show is just how charming it ended up, because we have trellis and roses growing all over it. I wish I could take you over there this minute and show you what it looks like.
252 is first name?
252 First Neck,
Yeah.
okay? The other thing is, we have Ed Hollander, I'm not sure how familiar you might be with him, but, okay, so Ed, and I've done this together for a long time, and we've worked over at 252 and 260. One of the efforts is to try and get the interconnection between all of those properties more through gardens than anything else. That's why we want to land the garage up close to the road, but we can screen that garage. Nobody will ever, it's 200 feet back. Nobody's going to ever see it from Pond Lane.
Okay,
So if you want to mandate screening or have us submit a landscape plan for approval, we could do that.
Or what about, if you put trellises like you have on First Neck, that
Mhm.
sounds very attractive.
Oh, it's, I was,
I just think
Yeah.
this looks like you're looking at a warehouse, with all due respect.
Well, this is just the structure.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you do the landscape plan,
Yeah,
I mean, let's just think about this for a second before going into the weeds. Just what they're requesting, what we see here is there's pre-existing issues. They want to build something. I think we're in agreement that the main structure it's a beautiful, important home in the area, and the setbacks are less.
Right.
yes.
Right.
That's
The
number
houses
one.
seems to be
So
no-brainer.
less. Then they want to get rid of some pre-existing. I mean, the garage that's there now is literally abutting so that we're going to remove that. Okay, that's another check. And then the one oddity, because of the shape of the property, is that they like to put that 3-car garage with the doors facing away from the only people who can see it is the homeowners, right? Tastefully landscaped, and we can make sure that we should get those boxes checked as best as we can, but 200 feet away. If you look at any of the other properties around there, where is there another structure that's 200
That
feet
far back.
that far back? So it is an odd. They're really making lemonade out of this lemon. Sorry, with all due respect to the property itself. I see it as a lot of pluses with the one part is the garage and getting over some things. But if you say we're worried about precedent or all these words that we're using, it's 200 feet. If there are other properties with 200 feet, we can address it again and say, hey, remember we discussed this? Well, it's 200 feet again. We have to understand an accessory structure with 200 feet from the road, that is pretty far. And
And
with
there may
proper,
not be
and to your
another
point,
one like it.
if
Yeah.
there is, it will come up.
So what about if alongside that consideration of, well, let's just go ahead and do it because it's so far back, it's 3 bays, 27 point whatever feet, should be 35. Why not just reduce the size to bring it into the 35 and push it away from our house further? It's admittedly only 7 feet, but at least it would be in compliance with 35-foot setback.
So it's basically, we'd lose a whole bay.
Right, and you'd have 2 left. Yep. That's correct. No, that's what I'm just saying, is there a way to
It's a
minimize the
smaller
damage?
structure, not so,
Because right now,
Because they can't.
They're going
move it-
closer to her house.
They can't move it to the east.
we can't move
Because
it
then
either
you have
way.
no setback.
Gotta have a driveway.
on this side, they're 35, on this side, they're 27.3.
Yeah.
So if you say, well, we're gonna suck it up and go ahead and go with this garage in the front, but at least get 35 feet on that side, and you're gonna have 2 bays instead of 3, unless you wanna double stack one
But
for storage.
No, they can't, that's too high.
One of the things we're trying
No.
to do is not affect anything that's there, as little
Well,
as
Ras is
possible.
there
that
right now, right?
driveway. Yes,
Yeah.
that's
There.
right.
we're adjacent to a tennis court, that's the other thing. Amanda's tennis court is sort of through the hedge of, beyond that 27 feet. I could understand worrying more about the accessory.
Well, it's not
setback.
just that, I mean, people want, I don't wanna get into, I don't wanna bear witness to what a neighbor does or doesn't do, but she's saying she has a garden there, she wants to be able to garden and not hear cars running in and out and so on. Well, then just move it out so it's 35 feet is appropriate, and then, that's the best you can do. Because you're satisfying the side yard setback, so if she hears it when she's gardening, that's what everybody would hear. You follow what I'm saying? I'm just trying to remove some of the impediments here.
It's tough only because.
One second,
the-
I'm sorry, we're trying to have a conversation here.
So how about this?
I'm not insisting, I'm saying that's a variable to play with,
Yeah.
to consider, I should say.
There are cars here,
Correct.
right? So I mean, you're hearing and seeing that already, right? So that difference, is that going to make the difference?
The
Making
27
the
versus
set-
35?
Is that going to really make a
What do you
difference?
mean
7 or 8 foot difference.
There's another lot.
Another lot.
Oh,
They're
right
all
next
There
door?
is right here.
Beneficial ownership kind of thing, and it's there.
There's parking right there?
Yes.
Same owner.
Yes.
But
So
we're not interconnecting, we are interconnecting the properties, but not the parking areas. So
Absolutely.
So you're interconnecting them with footpaths, not driveways.
There'll be a place where you can drive
Oh.
over, but you'll be connecting,
It'll be access.
going east and hitting the access road. Again, it's more a way of reducing any more driveway than anything else.
I would be remiss if I may, not to point out that there is front yard garage variance, I'll put into the record 129 toilsome.
We can walk around the village and figure it out. We're just trying to figure it out, in this case, is it appropriate for the neighborhood? And is it the
I know, but this
least
is a
amount of
much
thing you
more-
can do?
Much more significant.
I hear you.
front
Can we
yard.
have this discussion ourselves? No, I don't want to have, no, you can send it afterwards into the record?
No, I'll just give it to Alex. I just wanted to tell you that it's not a piggish ask.
Okay, so
And
to
these are all
continue.
educated asks based
So what do you
upon
think?
prior decisions.
Do you want to adjourn it to the next meeting so we can think about it further? Are you ready to vote?
Well, I think that we have discussed either making it a little smaller and making sure that we have a landscaping plan that would make everybody happy. And I think that would make us feel a little better about approving it.
Are you ready to vote, or do we want to wait? Waiting helpless, that's what I'm trying to figure out.
Not to me.
No?
Well, the next meeting's the 16th, so we can, why don't we adjourn it to the 16th and see if they can get a plan,
Okay.
a couple of alternatives for
I have a
us.
thought. Okay. If I rotate the garage 90 degrees and adhere to the 35-foot setback, I'll present less to the street, and it'll be more, I'll run the parking the other direction.
So in other words, you would enter the garage from the driveway?
You'd enter the garage from the driveway,
you still
enter
wouldn't-
from the east wall.
Yeah.
But you still wouldn't see the doors from
Right.
The doors would face east.
Right.
Yeah, the doors would face east, yeah.
Okay.
Then I can meet the
Yeah.
I like
setback.
that, 'cause
and
that's-
So let's
and
take
that's
a
the
look
beauty
at
of
That's a
Can
more
you
tradition-
represent
that's a more
that?
That's the more
traditional.
in 2
Well,
weeks?
then, if that's what the board
I
is
think-
comfortable with, if I may, then we're doing away with one piece of variance relief, which is from 35 to 27.5, and the only thing we need is that
Accessory
relief
structure.
from
Well,
being out of the front yard, if I
that's
may,
right.
which 200 feet, I've never seen the board on any application do anything other than say, yeah, cross, that's.
I
So
think
that would-
That's a
makes
great-
sense.
I-
That's a good,
I like
that
that.
makes sense.
Now, explain, that's why we need
Well,
to
we
see
have
it.
a,
But if you turn the garage this way,
Mhm.
what does that do for the parking court?
It,
would-
I'll bleed off the driveway, and I'll have 7 feet less,
Hmm.
but the garage is 24 feet, so I can make that work.
mhm.
Amanda?
Just so I understand, thank you again for giving this so much thought and attention. First of all, I appreciate it very much. If it were to be turned sideways, would it run longer into, would it still be 200 feet back from the street, I guess is what I'm trying to say? Or would it run longer
Yeah.
behind my property, which is what I'm trying to avoid?
Mm.
Give us a second.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I mean, it's gonna be something like this.
Can we get it up on the screen?
But when you turn it sideways, the bottom of it can be either
There you go.
where
It's
the
got it on
bottom
screen
is
there.
now or where the top is.
Yeah, Amanda, it would
Yeah.
run longer along your property, but it'd be further back.
Yeah.
It'd be 7 foot
Would you
further
be
back.
any feet closer to pond?
No, I'll keep it, I'll keep it.
Would
No,
you,
it's not.
would you be any feet closer to, I don't know what you want to call it, and I'll get in trouble for saying it, but
Either side.
the side that says 8-foot nylon fence, 86.5.
Okay,
Yes.
I can't tell where that is.
Oh, God.
Are we talking, well,
Just to the south of the
To the
parking
south.
court.
There you
There's a
go,
lot
yeah,
line.
just the south parking lot.
Are we gonna get any closer to that?
Yeah, we get closer to that, but still
Yes.
well in conformance.
Well,
Yeah.
conform.
Okay.
Well in conformance.
Does that help you, Amanda? He's gonna go
It'd be 7
deeper,
foot
he's gonna
further
go
away
deeper
from
into the lot, not
Right.
higher up into
Pond.
Pond Lane.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
Does
I
that-
mean, I think that would be
Well, he's
helpful.
gonna have to,
Okay.
we can't rule on.
Right.
con-
He'll submit plan, you'll be able to see
You
plans,
You
because
sort
we'll
of
see
could,
plans.
we would be withdrawing the application for the 27-foot side yard, and you would just be granting the relief for the accessory structure in the front yard.
But we'd like to see the accessory
Yeah.
structure in the front on the revised plans.
My sense is that
Right.
people are looking at this favorably and they just want to see
Okay.
it.
Right.
in paper like this before they vote on
Fair
it.
enough,
Yeah.
fair enough, fair enough.
Is that a
Thank
fair
you.
sense?
Absolutely.
That works.
And I'd like the neighbors to see it too. I mean, it's
Yeah.
important that
We'll
neighbors
get it
see
to Amanda
things.
right away.
Can they notice it in time for our meeting?
It wouldn't have to be
Renotice.
renoticed, it just has to get submitted by noon on July 9th to make the submission deadline.
Is
So
that-
Amanda, by,
Thank you.
if it is going to be heard,
We'll get it done
if we do
tomorrow.
this, we're talking about pushing,
Except you won't be
adjourning
open,
this
so I
case
have to
until
get it to you.
July.
Next week.
You gotta
Correct.
talk in the mic.
Sorry. If this goes forward, we're talking now about adjourning the case to July the, is it 16th?
16th.
16th.
Okay.
And by July 9th, they would be obligated to submit the revised plan
Okay.
to the village, and it would be up on the Agenda Center in the documents that you can click through to. So you'll be able to see it on July 9th,
Okay.
and you could come to the hearing on July 16th and make sure you're satisfied with it.
Okay.
Does that work for you?
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll email you a PDF.
Well,
Yeah,
we'll
sure.
get it right
Yeah.
away. We'll get it. Oliver
We'll walk
be
it
on the
over.
phone with Oliver saying, did you get it to Amanda? Did you get it to
All right.
Amanda? Did you get it to
So,
Amanda?
thank you very much. I appreciate your
No, that works.
patience. We're
That
just trying to get to a good spot. Do I hear a motion to adjourn this case to July
Motion.
16th?
Second.
Second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Yep.
Aye.
You can do.
Thank you. All right. Put our papers away. Taking 2 minutes here.
Just put that in your diary. Okay, thank you.
You're gonna buzz them.
Thank you, Amanda. Thank you.
All right.
That's the one.
Going to move on to our next case, which is, bear with me. Okay, case number 3240, Ickenham Limited, 1710 Meadow Lane. Thank you for your patience.
I have an affidavit of mailing, I'm just missing the affidavit of posting. I was told you were bringing that.
John Bennett for the applicant and Justin Kwasnick from Laurel Group. I did not draft this application, but I was brought in at the last minute. But I think I'll try to make it pretty straightforward. It's essentially a sports court and an outdoor area in a front yard on Meadow Lane. So the applicant seeks approval to construct a padel court with an adjacent viewing platform with an outdoor eating and a pergola, all within a front yard. All the accessory structures comply with the front yard setbacks for accessory structures. We're more than 90 feet south of Meadow Lane. Padel court, which is the closest accessory structure to Meadow Lane, is 107.4 feet south of Meadow Lane. And the court would be proposed to be sunken by 4 feet. So that's good. We're able to achieve that. Retaining walls surrounding the proposed court are located at their closest, 99.4 feet south of Meadow Lane. The pergola is a frame trellis that is proposed to be located over the viewing platform just south of the padel court. So the padel court is the leading edge of the variance relief, and it's more than 90 feet from Meadow Lane. The outdoor kitchen, as described in the notice, is simply a wet bar, a sink, and a mini fridge. No barbecue is proposed.
I'm sorry, the last,
No barbecue is proposed. That would be a sin in the south, but we're not proposing any barbecue. The proposed padel court is screened, and a landscape plan was included with the application submitted. Do you want to submit? We already have this now. This is an aerial photograph, I think, of the. Give me a second. There's an aerial photograph submitted. Shoot. Anyway, I'll keep talking. It maybe didn't make it into my file, but I'll describe what was in the aerial. By the way, the wetlands adjacent to this property have been verified by the Village of Southampton. They're all across the street. There's a April 20th, 2026 wetland delineation letter that was affirmed by William Bowman from Land Use, who that's the village designated wetlands consultant. And so all the wetlands are across the street. We're more than 150 feet out of the wetlands jurisdiction, so that's important. So there we are. So the playing
It's
court,
158 feet, yeah.
the playing court is proposed as a common accessory structure on Meadow Lane. All along Meadow Lane, in particular, playing courts have been located within front yards, particularly in instances where the court has been held as required 90 feet. The board has consistently granted the approval. I do have some prior decisions, which again, they're not going to surprise you. You've seen them before, but I'll just go through, give them to Alex. Maybe Alex, if you can turn them around. This is not new factual matter. It's just,
We're not going to circulate those now, Alex. I want to be able to read them.
well, I'll describe them.
Yeah, go ahead.
The first two parcel decisions in the package I handed up relate to the two parcels to the immediate west of the property. 170 Meadow Lane and 1750 Meadow Lane. So these are to the immediate west of the property. The court at 1730 Meadow Lane was granted relief not only to be located within the front yard, but also to be constructed 60 feet from the street, where at the time 80 feet was required. So they gave a 60-foot relief. That's 1730 Meadow Lane. The property to the and 1750 Meadow Lane also received a variance. And again, these are for full-size tennis courts, or not, if not full-size, maybe cropped corners, but much closer to 7,200 square feet than the proposed padel court. A padel court is 2,178 square feet. So a fraction of the 7,200 square feet that you'd see with a tennis court. So again, you have the first two decisions that I handed up in the package are the immediately to the west of the property, 1730 Meadow Lane and 1750, and 1730 was granted approval to keep the court at 60 feet. The property to the east, 1690, received a variance for construction of a tennis court within the front yard. The variance was granted in 2013. I unfortunately couldn't find my hard file for that property. I obtained the variance from my clients, but I was able to find my talking points for the board on the computer, and it was proposed at 98 foot setback. But you can see that it's there. So you have two properties to the west with variances for tennis courts, and a property to the east with a variance for tennis courts. For full-size tennis courts, that does two things. It shows you the character of the neighborhood, but it also shows you that, here's the aerial.
John, before you go on, again, I don't want to have anything circulated right now. You can submit them beforehand. Nope, no thanks. Nope. I'm trying to start to get this done right.
I've never been
All right, so, I'll tell you what, John, feel free to circulate them, but in the future, please do so by Thursday at noon, okay? That's all we're asking. So, John, can I ask you, you're seeking two variances here, is that correct?
Well, the variance to put a sports court, but also
Accessory structure.
a pergola, which, by the way, the pergola itself, not the viewing area and this amenities for beverages, but the pergola itself is allowed in a required front or rear yard, specifically under the village code.
So what variances are you seeking?
Well, the building inspector wrote it up for a variance for the pergola, and for the other amenities there, which are
It's
essentially...
Padel, Terrace, and Pergola, right?
Yeah.
Thank you, okay.
Yeah, but I'm just telling you that I don't expect the younger building inspectors to be aware of this, but a pergola under the village code, which is unroofed, is allowed in a required front yard. I mean, you may say maybe he thought there was more than a pergola going on there. That's fine, but the pergola aspect of itself is allowed in the front yard. It's in the yards sections of the village code. An unroofed pergola is allowed. Maybe when we he thought when it was accompanied by a viewing area and a wet bar, and then took it out of the pergola, that's fine. If that's part of the relief requested, that's fine with me. It doesn't really matter. But I just want to tell you, in terms of impact and adherence to code sections, the actual pergola itself is an allowed structure. So the padel court is significantly smaller than a tennis court. That's approximately 32 by 10. It's 3210 by 65.8, which is 2,178 square feet, as compared with the tennis court, which is 60 by 120. The court will be sunken and screened, but because this is a proposed padel court pursuant to the amended playing court regulations 116.9A, we'll have to go to the planning board for review the screening and the drainage. For many years, that was with the planning board, then for 15 years it stayed with the building department, but I guess the trustees in their wisdom decided that they wanted to see the planning board look at these courts. And that's where we'll go after this. No undesirable change in the character of the neighborhood, because as I've demonstrated on numerous occasions, sports courts are the rule, not the exception, on Meadow Lane. It's hard to find any portion of Meadow Lane on the ocean side where you can't find tennis courts. Obviously there's no room for them on the one or two exceptions on the bay side, but all of these houses on Meadow Lane have, by reason of variances, tennis courts. So that does two things. It says there's significant precedent for it, but also there's no impact on the character of the neighborhood. No other way to get the relief, because we're in a front yard, but clearly the restrictions on these oceanfront lots, once you take the natural restrictions, but also the village dune crest setback with the coastal erosion hazard area, push all your improvements towards the north. And of course, no one wants to, just from a practical point of view, or a realistic point of view, and a reasonableness point of view, nobody wants to have a house where you're looking through a tennis court to the ocean. So again, all the improvements comply with the minimum 90-foot setback. There's no wetlands issues. Plenty of precedent for this. No impact on the character of the neighborhood. It's type 2 action. That means that there will be no substantial impact on the environment. That's a term of art. It doesn't. So again, as the property is improved by, is impacted by the coastal erosion hazard line, and the dune crest setback is really another place to put it. And again, you've granted much more significant relief, not only dimensionally. Some of the, at least one of the adjacent parcels has a setback to 60 feet, as opposed to 90. The other two have 90-foot variances for courts, which they look like regular. Only one of them looks like it has the corners clipped. The other ones look like regulations courts, which are 7,200 square feet. This padel court will be 2,178 square feet. Pretty straightforward. It's a Meadow Lane front yard request for the playing court.
All right. Any other comments?
Nope.
Any other comments? No? Anyone in the audience would like to make any comments? No? We have no one else? All right.
Can I ask this? Is this document you're showing with the 8 renderings, has this been made part of the file? Because I can't find it.
This one, no. Everything else has been.
Okay, so you're going to submit that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
If you like, I can ask the building inspector to look at this. I know there was a section about unroofed areas that was repealed from the code.
No.
But
It's pergolas. It's if you look at the yards definition, it's still in the online version of the code. It's location of accessory structures generally. It's in the yards section, and it says that an unroofed. It's a pergola or portico, so whatever it is, it would be pergola. It's an unroofed arbor or arbor is allowed in the required front and the rear.
All right, I can,
I'll get you
oh,
the section.
okay,
It's
I'll ask the
there.
inspector
It's
to
been
take a
there
look.
Forever. But again, we asked for the variance relief, so regardless of whether or not it's, the building inspector views that, maybe he thought because it was something more than just a pergola, it needed variance relief. I'm fine with that, I'm fine with that. It's notice for it, you know, the reason I brought it to everyone's attention is because, at least the way I read the code, and I think it's pretty obvious, at least one portion of that, you know, one portion of the outdoor area, I don't think requires any relief, but we're here for it anyway.
Okay. Comments by the board? Questions?
What's the side yard setback? There's a 30-foot 2 to your wall and 38-4 to the padel court itself. What's the, Alex,
I'm
what's,
sorry.
is 30 feet the setback?
The minimum side yard for Padel?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, so it's that part complies.
just-
Yeah, he's not asking for a side yard
Yeah.
variance.
It's just, we need the front yard.
Yeah.
Sport court in front of it.
I mean, when I say the front yard, it's structures in the front yard. You know, we meet the accessory setback.
Yeah. What he's asking for is, can I put a playing court there?
Yes.
Can I get padel and the terrace and the pergola up there because I'm on the ocean? I mean,
Yeah.
it's pretty straightforward. The rest is just.
That's what I thought.
The thing is about this property is that the majority of the front yard used to be all wetlands until they bulldozed it into, you know, much higher than it was originally and covered it with grass. And is there any remediation for doing that? I mean,
Linda, I'm not aware of any of that. I'm not being cute about it. I'm not aware of that. We
that whole
specifically,
stretch of Dune Road.
It wasn't even paved when I got here.
Yeah, wasn't.
It was a sand
It was
road.
it was all sand and wetlands.
when I was in a kid, once you got west of the Kulakundis house,
You got
you
it.
were on sand.
There was
Yes.
nothing.
Interestingly enough, when it was paved and elevated, that's when a lot of these southerly wetlands pockets started, because the rest of it just drained.
Yeah.
But this
I'm not
has
aware
definitely
that
been
anyone
built
wrote-
up.
Excuse me?
This property has been built way up above the road and, you know,
I would say, for better or for worse, that's probably most of the properties on Meadow Lane. And we did very specifically get a wetlands designation from the village on this. I can't argue with your historic knowledge of the property, but I just don't know.
It'll take 100 years.
I will tell you that it's so interesting.
Yeah.
You know what used to happen? This was before the regulations on fill. An awful lot of fill got brought back into there, and on Meadow Lane, when it was first getting developed past the Kulakundis house in the 80s, an awful lot of fill got brought in. As a matter of fact, just historically, John Foster and I used to look at the revised FEMA maps, the FEMA maps that came out for revisions, and when they came out for revisions, they just did them topographically.
Yeah.
So you'll see houses, by reason of the fill that was brought in the 80s, in an X zone, surrounded by a V zone. And Foster, to his benefit, would say, I don't care if it's an X zone, I'm going to make it built to V zone standards. But when they redid the FEMA maps, they just did them topographically. So there's an awful lot of fill brought in there before the current coastal erosion line and the limitations on fill. So it probably did happen. It's also before the tidal wetlands regulations.
Just to touch on that quickly, Justin Kwasnick with Laurel Group, 910 Montauk Highway. Any cut or removal would be a full removal from site, not spread around the property, right? So any fill concerns would be a removal, right? Not a redistribution or regrading.
Very helpful, thank you.
I know that you were talking about something else, though, Linda. I understand.
Can I ask you something? On one of the drawings, actually the one you have there, there's a carport with a wood wall. There's a big circle and a dotted line in the middle of that stone driveway. What is that?
A big, you're referring to this?
On mine, well, no, that's a nice sculptural one. On this one,
I'm gonna look at the survey. Yeah.
it's this thing.
Oh, so actually what we're doing is reorienting that. It's almost like a peninsula. You're talking about this grass area.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right, so,
Yes.
Oh, that's a grass area?
right, yeah, currently
Well, it
this
says
is
stone
a,
driveway on it.
I know, but he's saying that's a grass area.
yeah, this is this white area, existing condition. So you'll see this orange is actually how we're reshaping the driveway to kind of square it to the house.
Okay, okay.
And reduce that odd shape in the middle of the,
All right, I was just curious.
yeah,
Make sure
it's
I
just
understood.
grass, two large crepe myrtles, and a piece of art at the moment.
Okay. All right,
So,
other comments,
so
Lauren?
I mean, I was talking to you, Lisa probably needs to take a look at this, and
I was wondering about that,
right? I mean, would she?
for runoff.
I just for all of that,
Yeah.
you know, she just.
Keep in mind, this will go to the planning board for
Yeah.
site plan
Oh,
review.
yeah.
At what point they will
Oh.
review the drainage as part of that.
Okay, so they'll do it at that
we're-
point.
So we're
Yes.
so out of our.
And there is
Okay.
we're very
That's
careful
helpful.
to make sure that there was a Chuck Bowman's son, Bill, right? He went out and marked the wetlands, so we're out of that jurisdiction.
Okay.
But Alex is right, it's gonna have to go to the planning board.
Okay.
Okay.
Makes sense.
So regarding the variances sought, which is specifically playing court, front yard, accessory structure in the front yard consisting of A, padel court, B, the terraces with the the retaining walls and the kitchen, and C, the pergola, as much as that's debated. Do you have any, I'm okay with it. I think this is what's been approved in the past, is consistent with the neighborhood, all that good stuff.
Yes.
So I'm okay with it as a variance decision. Anyone have any concerns, thoughts, comments?
I'm where you are.
Okay.
Sam?
Damage has already been done.
Exactly.
Right, and
That's the
well,
way
if
it
they
is.
want to fix that, it's going to be a different village discussion by the
Right.
trustees and other people
So
to how to
that's
remediate all of the whole, yeah, that's a
That's
whole,
way above
that's
us.
way, that's not a variance issue, that's a rebuilding issue. Do I hear a motion to vote to approve the?
Well, we don't have a written decision, so.
Oh, excuse me, I'm very sorry.
But you're talking
Brian?
about potentially closing this and
Yeah, okay,
asking
well, I
council.
think we should close it, but let me see, Brian, are you still here on the Zoom?
Yeah, oh yeah.
You can hear him. I mean, he is
Come in, Brian.
He is 3 drinks in by now. Just kidding, Brian, for the record, just kidding.
I'm way ahead.
just kidding.
So Brian, it
Yeah.
seems like we are favorably inclined to support the application. Would you be able to prepare an opinion along those lines?
I will prepare findings for you for the next meeting.
Awesome, on 7/16. So
And can
as-
I suggest that we close this but allow them to submit that
I was
document
just
to the
gonna go there.
file?
Could you please submit for the record the things that you've been putting out today?
Sure.
And do I hear a motion to close this hearing with that? Second?
Motion to close.
Just do the.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right.
And then you'll get us an updated
Thank you,
owner's
guys.
authorization, so we
Sorry,
make sure we
I'm
give
sorry,
you the
I'm
decision.
I know I'm coming across as a-
Again, I was going to Barbara.
Yeah, we just don't have your contact information anywhere in the application. We just don't have John's contact information as the attorney for this, so if you just give us the owner's auth and put him as the contact, that way we'll have you
I will
on
update
here.
everything. Yes.
So many.
Thank you.
Do you want to just give this to Alex?
All right, done.
It'd be better if you bring it into the office when we open.
On
Because-
Monday?
Yeah, because that way we'll make sure it'll go to the right person.
And if you have anything else, noon on Thursday prior to the hearing would be, that's the requirement. Thank you very much, I appreciate that. Okay. No, thanks for your time. Thanks for your time, thanks for your thoughtful explanation. Okay, so we are now moving on to case, well, we already did 30, we're now moving on to deliberations and written decisions.
Yeah, so that's the end of the public hearing portion of the meeting, but we still have some work session
Right.
items to do.
This is a work session, that's true. Okay. So the first deliberation or written decision is that of the Meadow Club. We have already discussed that, but we still have a variance opinion with Lisa, but we have a variance opinion that Brian, you has drafted, correct?
You took care of that earlier.
Yes.
Oh, that's right. Never mind, it was one and the same.
Yeah, no,
Done.
that was one-
We're moving on. And we did Vivo, number 3232, and we did 94 Boyson Road, 3238. So we're moving on to the back page. Previously, council contacted John Bennett, who just left, to indicate that our opinion,
It just left.
yeah, because he knows the opinion
okay.
is in draft, and we're working on the opinion, so we'll have that ready. When will that be? Is it being put over for the next meeting, Brian, 7/16?
My hope is to have it to you in advance of the meeting on the 16th. so
Okay.
you can Vote on it then.
Okay,
If not, certainly the first weekend, the first meeting in August, which will be the 62nd day.
okay,
That's the day you have to make a decision.
All right, so we're going to get there.
So
Great.
the board would just make a motion to adjourn that to July 16th?
Oh, true. Do I?
No, you don't need to adjourn, this is
We
just
don't?
continue, you closed the hearing already.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's true. We've closed it, so there's nothing to adjourn.
Okay, so it'll carry on.
Got it. All right, case 3233, the Roos case, 75 Lewis Street. Let me catch up to myself here, sorry. Applicant sought an area variance. Opinion was shared yesterday. Has everyone had a chance to take a look at it? They're seeking the open porch, the one-story addition, the second-story addition. Has everyone had a chance to look at Brian's opinion?
Yeah.
Everyone okay with what they're hearing, or any reading, or any questions? No? Do I hear a motion to approve the opinion as drafted?
Motion.
Second? Aye? Oops, sorry. Second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye?
Aye.
All right, 75 Lewis, that concludes that case. And the next one is the last one, which is the 1010 Meadow Lane Trust, located at 1010 Meadow Lane. 3 accessory structures in the front yard, pool in the front yard, they are on Meadow Lane. Has everyone had a chance to review the opinion circulated on that case?
Yes.
Anyone have any questions about that opinion? Comments? All right. Do I hear a motion to approve it, subject to the conditions set forth in paragraph 14 in terms of constructing it per the plans, it's on the ocean, per the planting, maintenance, and building in a timely fashion as permitted by the code? Do I hear a motion to approve that?
Sure.
Second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye? And that takes care of that one. Now, we do have 2 other things at least. The first is, I wanted to mention that Alex had forwarded me by email.
What about 291 Hampton?
Yeah, I'm going to get to, you want to do that first? Let's do that one first then. So Alex, can you explain to everyone?
Yeah,
what
so you'll
this is?
remember this was an application for a special exception for a new single-family residence in the HRO district. It's a conversion from office to single-family home. The board put certain conditions on that approval, that it be built according to the plans. It also needed to get a building permit within a certain number of time as required by code. The applicant since had to modify those plans. That approval has since expired. So they're asking this board to extend the approval to allow them to get a building permit, and asking them to modify the condition to reflect the updated set of plans that have been provided to you. And I believe Brian prepared an amended decision to that effect.
Which was circulated. So basically, plans have changed. We need to make sure that they're constructing to the plans as approved. They're not, because they're using new plans that haven't been approved, so we need to approve the new plans, and it would be an amended decision
Yes.
circulated by Brian. Brian,
And
any comments on this to help us understand?
No, it was a matter of changing the one paragraph in the
Right.
decision as an amended decision, so if you're
6B.
going to move forward with this. Yep, if you're going to move forward with this, just, it would be to authorize the amendment in accordance with the draft that was provided.
Right.
And
Which
I'll mention
consists
that-
of changes to paragraph 6B. Otherwise, it is consistent with the prior opinion, correct?
Correct.
All right,
Yeah, and these plans were approved by the ARB, this version.
okay.
Oh, good.
All right. Do I hear a motion to approve the amended plans as submitted, the changes being in section 6B?
Sure.
Second? All those in favor? Aye. So approved. Okay? So that takes care of that case. Thank you for your patience.
Right. Sorry to hold you the
Yeah,
last.
sorry.
Thanks.
Take care.
So the last thing I want to mention, and Alex, your help hear it. So there is a June 2026 letter that has been distributed to various parties. The trustees intend to act as the lead agency with respect to the building of a sewage collection and treatment system. In this letter, they say, we propose to install a new sewer system as a village. The Board of Trustees intends to act as a lead agency for the proposed project. They conducted a coordinated secret review process. They want to let us know that they'd like to be the lead. Attached is documentation about that. If you have any objections to the Board of Trustees' intent to be lead agency, or if you have any other issues of concern, please communicate them to us by July 26, 2026, signed by Alex. So I think we ought to circulate this to the board. People can read it. Before the next meeting, they can express any concerns they might have. I don't know that we'll have any, frankly, but let's give everyone an opportunity to respond and do what was told to us in the letter. Is that Is that
Yes.
an overreaction?
Yep, all the board
Yeah.
members have been provided copies of
that
it.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, yep, it was that big.
They all
envelope.
got
read
the
it.
envelope.
Yep,
Yep.
read it, yep.
Yeah,
I read
it.
exactly.
Great. I read
I
it.
would say go
Are you
forth
ready?
and
I was
conquer.
like-
Go forth.
Yeah, really.
I was like, God bless you.
Yeah, really go.
Yes.
So everyone's
Linda,
okay with
I'm
this?
you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, good.
And just
We're
to
done.
give you some context, the zoning board was identified as potentially being an involved agency because at some point you may be asked to issue an approval related to this.
Okay.
So they're coordinating the secret review and just wanted to confirm that you don't have any
Okay.
objection to the Board of Trustees taking the lead for secra, so that if and
People
when
have
this does
time.
come to you, you won't have to do the environmental review. It will already have been done by the Board of Trustees.
I'm glad they're going to experience our work and our
Yeah,
workflow.
seriously.
And I think that is a wonderful experience for them. Just kidding.
But this could come back to us if it needs a variance.
Variances.
If it needs a variance, if it needs a special exception use, which I believe is
Which they
applicable
will,
here.
won't they?
Yep.
Because it's a park that
Yes.
they're taking over?
Yeah, so it'll
What
come.
is it, eminent domain?
No, it's
already
already
their
owned
park.
by the village. They're proposing what's called an alienation. They're going to replace the park with parkland of equal value, but it may require other approvals from this board, which you'd be able to review on the merits. They're just coordinating secret review at this time.
Great.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Do we need to move that or anything?
No, just we have to
No.
let them know if we have any objections. So Alex, why don't you let them know that we've actually read it and we don't have.
I'll write a letter to myself as indicating
okay,
that
you
letter.
know, that's right. Never mind.
And
I see it's the Board of
I will
Trustees.
let myself
Alex, we're
know
fine.
that you have no issue.
Yes.
Okay, just
Yeah,
so.
let Alex
No,
know.
Alex, he's a nice guy.
On the way home, have a conversation with
Yes, and if Lisa were here, she could write a memo to herself
Herself.
because she's advising the Board of Trustees.
Oh, okay,
on
which
this
makes sense.
as well.
All right.
If it-
Do I hear a oh, Brian? Yeah?
You should, if you're going to do that, that should be my motion, and obviously if you do it now, you do not have to wait until the 16th to discuss it.
We have to have a motion to confirm that we have no concern about them being a lead agency? They didn't say that.
You can close it out.
He didn't
by-
say that.
If you don't do it by motion, then yes, Alex can take the general advice and go forward with that.
No, let's do it by motion. Do I hear a motion
Motion.
to agree that they should act as lead agency with respect to
Absolutely.
the sewage treatment plant?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Second?
It's
Oh.
just that you have no objection to their
We
serving
don't.
as.
No
So, as I
objection.
just said, serving as the lead agency for purposes of the development of the septic plants, the sewer system.
Yeah, it was just a minor change.
Oh, I'm sorry. All right. Motion?
Motion.
Second?
Yes.
All those in favor?
Yippee.
Aye.
Great.
Thank you for telling us to do the motion. I appreciate that. We want to do this right.
Thank you, Brian.
Thanks,
Do I
man.
hear a motion to close this hearing?
So moved.
Second? All those in
Okay.
favor?
Yep, aye.
Happy